Well, look who's back. Already talking about the Victory class Star Destroyer. Oh, wait, that's me. I'm talking about it. Yeah, I might have been wrong about the Victory class Star Destroyer. It doesn't really suck, at least it does in canon, but in Legends, it's pretty awesome. I mean, it's not the most amazing Legend Star Destroyer ever made, but it's got more of an extensive history than it does in canon, and I think we should talk about that. The Victory 1 class Star Destroyer was a collaboration between two major shipbuilding rivals of the time, Rendali Star Drive and of course Kuat Drive Yards. This design project took part in the early years of the Clone Wars and was later named the Victory Initiative Project. And it gave birth to the Victory class, a direct challenge to the widely popular Venator class. I will note that while it was developed during the Clone Wars and a number of Victories were created, forming the Victory fleet, it did not see widespread use throughout the Clone Wars. It was only after Palpatine transitioned the Republic into his Empire that the Victory class would be sent throughout the galaxy. The size and armament of this warship was meant to fill the role of a medium-sized battleship. With a length of 900 meters, it was little more than half the size of the soon-to-be Imperial-class Star Destroyer. But unlike future Star Destroyer models, the Victory was still able to enter the upper atmosphere of a planet. This gave it the advantage when engaging enemy forces on the surface or when pursuing vessels trying to escape into a planet's atmosphere. The defense capabilities, including the shield system and hull armor of this vessel, were still considered to be on par with more advanced warships seen during the Galactic Civil War. As for offensive weaponry, there were a lot of turbo lasers, as the Victory was meant to be a battleship unlike its carrier counterpart, the Venator. The main configuration consisted of 10 quad turbo laser batteries, 5 port and 5 starboard, 40 double turbo laser batteries, 10 4, 15 port, 15 starboard, and a massive number of concussion missile tube launchers equaling 80, 24, 20 port, 20 starboard, and 20 aft. During the later years of the Clone Wars, a second class of this vessel would be introduced, now refitted with new ion engines replacing the LF-9s. However, an unfortunate design choice was made to replace the concussion missiles for ion cannons and extra turbo lasers, as this variant had an emphasis on ship-to-ship combat. Now you can disagree and say this made the ship more well-armed to fight other warships, but you'd be wrong as the Empire faced more and more growing starfighter threats presented by the Rebel Alliance. The development of the Victory 2 class Star Destroyer saw a limited run as they were introduced only a few years before the Imperial class, which was far better equipped for ship-to-ship combat. But unlike the bloated Imperial class, the Victory only required a crew of 4,798, along with 402 gunners. This relatively small Star Destroyer could also carry around 2,040 troops and a few AT series walkers depending on the warship's mission parameters. To backtrack a little bit, I think it's important to talk about the Victory 1 and 2's service in more detail. During its time in the Republic, an early batch of Victory 1 class Star Destroyers would be deployed, known as the Victory Fleet. These warships were tasked with the defense of Sector Zero. The escaping Techno Union's fleet of Bulwark Mark I battleships would come into contact with said Victory Fleet. However, many of the initial commission group would not be deployed until after the Republic's transition into the Empire. As mentioned before, the Victory 2 class variant made its debut near the end of the Clone Wars, but saw a limited run due to the Imperial class Star Destroyer model, which took number 1 priority. For this reason, there were an abundant number of ISDs, and the larger warship gained popularity with the Imperial Navy. As you can imagine, the remaining Victory class Star Destroyers would start to be decommissioned or sold to groups like the Corporate Sector Authority, which purchased a total of 520 from the Empire. But that doesn't mean all were sold or retired. In fact, many, if not most, of the remaining Victory series were assigned to planetary defense roles. Many considered the Victory to be second only to the Imperial-class Star Destroyer, which was stronger and faster than the smaller warship. Victories would still support larger vessels such as ISDs, dreadnoughts, and other star cruisers. While the Victory class had its shortcomings, it would be updated and retrofitted all the way into the Galactic Alliance, where it would receive larger turrets on the upper hull which housed powerful tractor beams. These were more often used to patrol territories thought to have pirate activity. Even though I initially created a video on how horrible the Victory was, I stand by that because it is unfortunately how it's presented in canon. But after researching the Legends version of this Star Destroyer, I'm happy to say that this vessel is far more capable than expected. Does it have its flaws? Yes. Does that make it different from any other Star Destroyer? No. The truth is, most Star Destroyers have issues, from the Venator's lackluster firepower, to the ISD's bloated size and insufficient point defense weapon systems, to the Victory's slow engine output. All these designs are flawed, and it's good because how else will the Rebel Alliance end up freeing the galaxy from the crushing Imperial rule? I hope you enjoyed today's video. I think I have learned a valuable lesson on researching the history of these vessels both in canon and in Legends. If you have not subscribed, please feel free to do so. I welcome all fans to this nerdy channel, and make sure to like this video and comment on which topics I should discuss next. Have an amazing day, and may the Force be with you.